Hello everyone, Alex with Revit MEP here. Today I'm going to show you how to provide plumbing to an apartment using Revit MEP. First we're going to set up our project, then we're going to place our plumbing fixtures. In this particular case we're going to have a kitchen sink right here, we're going to have a stackable washer and dryer right here, and we're going to have a bathroom group consisting of a lavatory, a toilet, and a tub/shower. We're going to pipe all the cold and hot water with a water heater, the whole thing. And I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks based on the Florida Building Code or the International Building Code for all that matters. We're also going to talk about a bunch of different plumbing fixtures that are completely flexible. So stick around and you'll learn a lot. See you in Revit. Alright, let's see if we can provide some plumbing to my old apartment. So we open our application, whichever version of Revit you have available. We need to select our template here. So we're going to go with my BIM It Up template. I'm going to hit OK. And as soon as my project opens, the first thing we're going to do is to bring in our architectural model. So for that we go here to Insert, and then we go to Link Revit, and then we select, in this case it's going to be this file, and I'm going to move my elevation out of the way a little bit, and this is just me being annoying, but I like to have this kind of like in the middle, probably this too also a little bit lower. And now we're ready to start. So one thing I like to do obviously is to select my link. Notice that if I hover over the link, it displays the name of the model, right? So once you select it, you can pin it in place so that you don't move it accidentally. And another thing I like to do is, so in my plumbing template, I have it set up so that my plumbing fixtures and the mechanical equipment and appliances pop up a little bit. That's why you see them in white. But you know, you could change whatever you want. Like I could go here to Visibility Graphics, Override, and then go to Revit Links, and then instead of by host view, I can set it up to custom, and then go to my model categories and activate the customization, and then go to plumbing fixtures right here, and I can have those fixtures display, let's say, in a green color, which I kind of like a lot. And we could go to the mechanical equipment as well and turn it also green. And then once you do that, you hit OK and OK, then we should be able to identify them a little bit easier if you haven't done so. Another thing we want to do is probably we would like to create a scope box, because this one here is my old apartment. So we go here into View, and then we go into Scope Boxes, and then you select an area more or less close to what you want to design to. Let's give it a name here. Let's call it 1-bedroom apartment. And now what we can do, you could also do a detail. You know, you could come here and do a call out and then select this, and it will create a view for you automatically. But I would like to have this scope box because I know I'm going to be working with this unit a lot. So for now, I'm just going to create a duplicate of this view, and then I'm going to call this 1-bedroom apartment. And by default, once I create it, it becomes the active view, the current view. That's why it's bolded. So one thing I can do is an automatic crop based on my scope box. So I can come down here, and here where it says scope box none, I'm going to change it to the one I just created, which is 1-bedroom apartment. And that's going to, you know, trim all the fat for me. One thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a default 3D view right here. And you know, there's a lot of, you know, noise here as well. So I can also use my scope box down here to trim the fat in the 3D view as well. But either way, most likely I would like to create a callout anyway. So I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to create a callout of that 1-bedroom apartment. So from here to here, something maybe like that. I'm going to grab my head here and bring it up here so it looks a little nicer. And once I open it, I can double click on the head, and that's your callout right here. So I'm going to rename my callout as 1-bedroom apartment. And another thing you could do is you could go back to your 3D view, right? And you could orient, you could see this is your default 3D view right here, it's the whole building. So you could easily duplicate that, right? and then in that duplicate you can rename that as 1-bedroom apartment. And then once you rename it, you want to activate your section box right here. And then right now the section box is encompassing the whole building, right? Like if I click on it, and you could use this grips to take it to whatever area you want to work on, but you know, the most efficient way is right clicking here, and then you go here to orient to view floor plans, and then here's our call out, the one that we just created. So you can just orient to that. And it's going to take a little bit because Revit is thinking, you know, how to orient it to that view. It took a little longer than I was expecting, but anyway, it did the job, and here it is, right? So that's what I want to deal with. Another thing is, you know, you don't want to have this under hidden mode because Revit needs to constantly think about what to hide behind what. So like right now, this air handling unit is hiding the washer dryer, you know, the stackable washer and dryer behind. So instead of doing that, you probably want to keep this under shaded, maybe it's a little bit faster. And let's turn off those scope boxes and 3D views since we're not using those and they can become a little noisy. So we turn off our scope boxes and now it looks a lot cleaner, and let's get it going. So what I want to demonstrate here is the power of quote-unquote universal plumbing fixtures. So let's go to our 1-bedroom apartment cropped plan. Actually, let me close this off and let's start placing some fixtures, right? So you could do a px as the command, right? But if you don't have those plumbing fixtures, like right now, the fixtures out of the box are pretty crappy. So I'm actually gonna you know, delete all this. I don't need any of that. So I start with a clean canvas. Notice that the whole category disappeared because if you don't have anything under that category, Revit figures, you know what, it doesn't make sense to even have the category. So let's insert. Let's go to insert family, load family. Go into plumbing. Let's go into plumbing fixtures, generic. This is water above rim. This is a tub slash shower. So I'm going to select this generic bottom drain, water above bowl, and I'm going to place it. Oh, yeah, I'm not dragging and dropping, I'm inserting. So one little tip is that if you go to the architectural tab and you hit component, the latest thing that you inserted is what becomes active. So let's rotate it, and for now I'm going to place it here, you know, intentionally. I'm going to align to this back wall, the back part of my plumbing fixture, and then I'm going to align to the center line of the tub. Fixture is behind it. So let's make sure that I have it. See, right now this is, it has associated a plumbing template. For now I'm just going to take that out, and I'm going to keep this as fine, and I'm going to keep this as wireframe, and now aligning becomes a lot easier. So there you go. And now I can see that, you know, my outlet is not perfectly aligned to this. I'm gonna end up probably hiding my fixtures later on, or the contour of my fixture. So all I care about is the location of this drain and the location of the water connectors. So I could kind of like eyeball from here to here, and I see that I have almost 3 inches to go. So I could go to my plumbing fixture here. I could edit type, and I'm going to duplicate that. Okay, and I'm gonna call this bathtub. Okay, and then I'm going to assign my fixture tag BT1, and then we said that the drain outlet horizontal offset from the wall, which is this distance, right now is 7 inches, but I have 3 more inches to go, so I simply change this to 10 inches, and I click OK, and it looks beautiful. I could also do the same with the water connectors, but I'm not going to do it because I want to keep them as separated as possible so they look nice in the isometric. So let's go see that now our plumbing fixtures category became available, right? And then under that, I mean, what you see here is my old fixtures. I already had them done, so I'm just going to that's why this was called bathtub, which is the one we just created, and this one's called tub, which is one that I had created before. So I'm going to delete this one to avoid confusion, and then, you know, just like I did with this, I can drop off a toilet. It's part of the same family. Again, I could place it around here if I wanted to, and I can align to this wall, and then I could align to this center line, and that looks pretty good. You know, it doesn't matter. I have both connectors available. I have cold water and hot water, but I'm just going to use the cold water connector because this is a toilet. You could make these connectors whether you want them visible or invisible. You know, you can, sky's the limit. But for now, I'm just dropping here a toilet, and then I'm gonna drop this vanity lavatory right here. I already customized the. See, let me show you what I did here. So this one here, let's edit the type so you see what's happening. I had, here it is, the depth. You know, I had it as 1 foot 11 inches, just so it looked nicer. It's most likely 24 inches, but if I were to change this to, and I'm gonna take it to this side of the screen, to let's say a 1 foot 4 inches, and I hit apply, you see how this becomes a little less deep. I could also change the width of it. Instead of 310, I could do, let's say, 32. See, and so it's fully customizable. And again, I can change the offset of the drain port to be closer to the wall or farther away from the wall. But for now, I'm just gonna hit cancel here, and I'm gonna do undo and undo, because what we eventually want to do is pipe this bathroom. So let's get to it. And now we align to this. It's looking good. I actually like to tile my windows so I see what's going on here in 3D view. And again, I could do the same thing here with the plumbing fixtures that I did before, so they look green in the background. So actually, let's do that. So I'm going to do TW to untile my windows, and then I'm going to come here to Visibility Graphics Override. So I hit the shortcut VG or VV, and now I'm going into my Revit links. I'm going to customize this so that my plumbing fixtures look green, and so that my mechanical equipment also looks green. I do OK, OK. There you go. So here they are. Those are the architect's fixtures, you know, the ones in green, and these are my fixtures, right? So like right here, for example, I see that I would like to take this a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and change the offset to, let's say, 30 inches. See how that looks? Looks way better, right? So, and obviously you can get as fancy as you want so it looks pretty, but you know, the idea here is to be as efficient as possible. So notice that I'm using the same family for 3 completely different fixtures. The only thing I care about, notice that, for example, this the height of this water inlet, it's a little bit low, right? So in reality, what's going to happen is that water's going to come in through a mixing valve here, and you either take it down the tub spout or up the shower. So what I'm going to do is change the height of this inlets, and I can easily do that by coming here. So right here is a little bit hard to see, so I'm going to change it to wireframe just so you see what's happening with the connectors. So I'll take my plumbing fixture, right, and I'm going to turn it a little bit this way so you see what's happening. And I'm going to edit the type, and here where it says cold and hot water vertical offset from drain, I'm going to change 1 and 2 inches to, let's say, 3 feet. And take, you know, keep an eye on this too, guys. So I hit OK, and see, they went up. So that looks pretty good to me. You know, I'm going to have the mixing valve here somewhere, and I have the shower head up here. So this one's good to go. And again, you could change the length of this, you could change the width of this and the height so it looks exactly like the tub, but I don't care about that right now. I care about showing you how to design plumbing. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this toilet. This looks about right to me. Maybe it's a little bit too high, so let's come here and edit the type and change that to cold and hot water vertical offset. Let's have it at let's do 1 foot. So I want to keep some space for the cold water line coming within the wall. So this one looks great to me. Oh, actually, I selected the wrong fixture here because I have water above the bowl, right? We don't want that. So let's go ahead and bring in another fixture. Insert. And let's load a family. And this time we're going to select bottom drain. But instead of water above bowl, we want water below bowl. So let's click here and open. And now we have it right here, water below bowl. This is the one we want. So I'm gonna drop it up here, and we say it was gonna be dropped at 30 inches of elevation. I turn it around again. So I just want to show you how the family flexes with the lavatory, right? So let me just delete the previous one that I had, and again, the reason why I'm deleting it is because this guy here has the water above the rim, above the bowl, above the drain. We don't want that. So let me delete that, And let's actually come here to my water above bowl, and let me delete that from here. It doesn't make too much sense, right? So here, this is what I want, and let's customize it so it looks exactly like this one. And again, I'm just doing this to showcase the power of the plumbing fixture, because in reality we don't really care about the length and the width unless you're using it in schedules. That's another option. But anyway, let me measure from here to here, and I know that this distance is going to be 310. So let's come here and edit that type, and this, let's duplicate, and let's call this one vanity sink or vanity lavatory, and let's call it L1, and let's change now the width of it. We said it was going to be 310, so 3 space 10, and keep an eye on those dimensions. See, it became exactly the same length as this lavatory. And then let's measure the other dimension from here to here. So that's you know, about 111. So let's come here, edit type, and then that would be the depth of the fixture. So that's 111. And now we can simply align in this direction and then align in this direction. Okay, so it's looking pretty good. Notice that our drain, it's a little bit too high, and that you can also change. You know, I could actually just adjust the elevation of this so the drain is wherever I want it. So let me drop it down to, let's say, 2. And now the drain's a little bit closer. Notice that I can also change the location of this drain to be closer to the bowl, and that is changed under this parameter. I'll show you. You come here to edit type, right? And then the drain outlet horizontal offset from the wall right now is 7. We can have it at 10 inches maybe. And right now we still have a little bit to go. Actually, the formal and correct way of doing this would be to measure from here to here, and you can see that it's about 13 inches. So you would come here, and instead of 10, it would be 13 inches, and then it would be right in the center. But again, I'm just getting fancy with these things. It doesn't really matter as long as you have a plumbing fixture. Now let's keep going, and now this is getting a little muddy here. So to click here and click on shade it. Oh, this time it worked. Sometimes it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, just hit TW so you on tile, and then it will always work. Now we need to introduce a water heater. I actually prefer dragging and dropping the families whenever possible. It's a little bit faster and you place them in real time. You got to be careful. Some families are type families and you cannot just drag and drop. You need to load them using the load family command. Okay, but for now I know that this one should be available right here. I'm going to go to water heaters and then electric tank type, and then I'm going to drop this. Is a little dirty, so let me delete this, and then I'm going to drop off this water heater right here. So notice that it's trying to place itself in a face, so you don't want to do that. What you want to do is place on work plane, and it depends on which kind of water heater you're placing anyway, but for now, you know, I'm just going to align it perfectly with the previous water heater. And let's keep going. I'm going to do a window tile just so that I check that things are looking good. So that's my water heater right there. I'm behind the architects. We're not doing drainage in this example, so we don't care about the air handling unit, but we do care about this washer and dryer. So let's go ahead and take this guy here, and let's do create similar, and let's turn it around. Let's place it, let's say, around here. Actually, this one's going to be a little bit farther away because we need a little bit of space for the hoses and all that. So again, you could measure the right distances here. So this is, let's say, this is what, 27. Let's call it 27 by 27. So I'll come here. Need to be careful because right now we have the toilet, so we need to make sure that we duplicate this and we call it a stack washer and dryer, right? And then we said it was going to be 27 by 27. So 27, the width was 27, and let's say the height for this guy was, we're talking about the washer only. That's the one we care about. So let's call it 4 feet just to have something. Okay, so that's our washer right here, right? This one. But now we need to have, well, it depends on where the water is coming in your washer, but I like them a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm talking about the water connectors, right? So let's bring them a little higher. So let's click on our washer and dryer, which is this one, and let's edit the type. Actually, this wouldn't be the correct fixture because this has a bottom drain. We should go with a back drain. So let's hit undo and let's bring in the correct fixture. And this is actually not a plumbing fixture. This could be categorized as mechanical equipment. In reality, it's an appliance, but you know, we can use a plumbing fixture just to have our plumbing connections. So let's do undo until we go back to the previous state. And now I'm going to drop my correct plumbing fixture. So instead of water heaters, I'm going to go to plumbing fixtures, generic, and I'm going to come to back drain, water above bowl. I'm going to drop that one here. Again, I'm going to turn it on its back. We say we didn't want it too close to the wall. We want it around here. And now this one, we can edit that type. Now we can rename this one. But you know, I actually like to, instead of renaming, I like to duplicate and keep the original there. And then this one I'm going to call stack washer and dryer. Okay. Put some spaces this time. It looks a little better. But for now, I just want to change the depth to 27 inches and the width to 27 inches. And the height, I'm going to have it as actually 3.5. I think 4 was a little bit too much. There you go. That looks beautiful. So now let's align this to our washer and dryer. And now we can start plumbing this section. Actually, let's just drop this other sink here. So we have all the plumbing fixtures placed. And for this one, the difference is that now we have 2 outlets, right? We have 2 drain ports. So we are going to have to come here and we take this generic 2 bottom drain, water below the bowl because we don't want that showing above the counter. And we just drop it here. And in this case, you know, this looks pretty good to me right here. And, you know, we can, let's go the extra mile. So let's align this to that back wall right there. And now we want to measure the distance to the actual drain port. So it's about 1 foot. So let's change that. Come here, edit type. So drain outlet horizontal offset from wall, which said it was 1 foot, was it? I think it was 1 foot. So there you go. So that looks pretty good. It's a little bit less, but that's all right for now. And then you can measure the distance between this guy and edit type. And then this one, again, we want to duplicate that, and let's call it a 2 bowl sink or kitchen sink. 2 bowl sink is fine. And here the distance between outlets, we said, I think it was 17 inches. I forgot. My memory is, no, that's too much. So let's measure that distance between this point and this point is about 15 inches. So edit type, distance between outlets is 15 inches. Hit OK. Beautiful. And now we could change the width of this if we wanted to match this width. You know, we can play with all this, but for now I just care about the location of my outlets and the location of my inlets. So let's start piping. I'm going to keep my window split. Typically I would take this window to the other screen to work a little more comfortably, but for now I want to show you the whole thing. So notice that this guy, we place it too low, so let's bring it up. Let's say to 30 inches maybe. We could cut a section here. Let me see if I have a section around. I don't, so let me just cut a new section. Let me change my depth a little bit because I don't care about all that stuff. All I care is about this. Let's go all the way down. That looks pretty good to me, but just you know, you would want to align the, let me just cut the actual sink so that way you know that the drain outlet is here. So the measurement that you really care about is you want this aligned to this so that this is perfect coming down. Okay, so we're good to go as far as plumbing fixtures. Let's start piping.
All right, let's say the aliens come down and they want to mess around with your YouTube history. What are you gonna do? Can't find my video? No. What you want to do is subscribe to the channel, you hit that bell, that way you get notifications, you know where your video is, and you stick it to the aliens.
We close this section. So let's start with the hot water. I always like to start with the hot water because then I can pipe to the water heater and then I can pipe all the cold water at once. So remember, if you're looking at the faucet or the mixing valve from the interior wall, you'll have always your left side is going to be hot water and your right side is going to be cold water. So this guy is going to be cold water and this guy is going to be hot water. So let's start with hot water, and we come out. And let me drop a little bit because I'm a little bit too high. I'm like 3 feet. So let me go back to, let's say, 10 inches. I'm going down to 10 inches. And then I find this other guy, and this toilet doesn't have hot water, so I can actually go past him, right? Then this guy does have hot water, so I'm going to stretch it all the way up to here. Actually, a little bit more because it's a cold water inlet. This is a hot water inlet, so let's go a little bit more up to here. And then I take this guy, take it out. I connect to it like that, and let me show you what's happening here. You always want to have your 3D view open to monitor what's going on, and you typically don't want to have it in one line. You would like to have it in fine so you see what's going on. Okay, and man, I don't like this fittings that this is using, so I should change that to my supply that uses copper. Thankfully, in 2019 and up, this is not that much of a challenge. You just tap select, so you have your whole run selected. You see it here, the whole run selected, and then you simply come here to change type, and then from here, from the drop down, you go to supply or whichever one you want, and that's it. See, now I have my brazed copper elbows. Beautiful. So let's keep going. So I'm going to turn this elbow into a T, and let's draw pipe. So I think from now on I'm going to go 3/4 just to be safe for now. Let's see if we're able to offset within the wall. So let me bring this up to, let's say, 4 feet. And then let's go this way. And remember, I want to come out of my water heater outlet. So you need to study your water heater and see where the outlet, the hot water outlet is. In this case, it's right here off the top. So I'm going to align to this center point, this line, and then I'm going to connect from the top. Seems like it's doing the job. Let's see what's happening in 3D. Oh, I'm going through my air handler. That's not good. So let's take it down a little bit. Instead of 4, let's say 3, 6 maybe. A little bit more. So let's do 3, 4. 3, 4. That looks pretty good to me. So now we could also take our air handler and push it up a little bit. But let's go worst case scenario. Now we want to keep going with our hot water because actually we missed the washer. So where's my washer? Let's see. This is my washer. If I select it, notice that I never brought up those cold and hot water connectors like I wanted to. Actually, this one has them here, the one from the architect. But you know, I'm just going to keep it like that so that I can space them properly and show them in the isometric, and it looks nice. But I'm going to take it up a little bit. So let me go to edit type, and this a cold water. Where is that? So this cold and hot water vertical offset from bottom, I'm going to change it to 3 feet. Okay, and that looks good to me, like right here off the top. So let's see what's this one here. Let's take it out. See, notice that it snaps to the 90 degree. So let's see what this is. This was cold water. Let's take the hot water out as well. And I'm doing things a couple of different ways, so you see, you know, there are different options. So let's do that offset here. And most likely you won't want to have both of them at the exact same elevation if you were building this, because you have limited space within the wall. But in this case, you know, just to keep it simple, I'm going to do something like this, and then this guy, I'm going to do something like this, and then the line that we have coming from the heater, right? Let's keep it at 3/4 because we know we have that sink on the right. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit more, maybe like this, and let's see at which elevation we have this. We have this at 3 feet, I think. Yeah, how about this one? This one's 3, 4. Let's see if we have enough space to make that connection. So let's extend this a little bit. Let's bring this and see if it does the trick. Yeah, it did. And then from here, we can probably come up here in this wall. This is a little closet. So let's bring it up to, let's say, 9 feet. And then bring it across. And we have to go down. And I know this apartment because this was my apartment for a while. So I know that here, let me show it to you here. See, there's a nice counter. So we have to come down in this wall and go underneath and connect to the sink. So let's do that. See, like if I come out of my sink, I know that this is at 9 feet, right? So I could come down, turn left, and try to, you can always also come here and do connect into. And what do you want to connect? You want to connect your hot water, right? And what do you want to connect into? I want to connect into this line. And then, Revit will give you a bunch of different options. But, most of the times, or this is not necessary. I can simply just, eyeball it. I can come like this. I know that this is my hot water, so let's get out of here like that. And see, I could come like that, and it will make the connection for me. It was not that bad. I don't need any automated routing or anything. I just want to be able to control my destiny, right? So let's do the same thing now with cold water, because it seems like we have all the hot water piped already, right? So let's go with cold water. We can start from here if we wanted to. Let's start at 1/2 of an inch. We can come up instead of 9. Let's do, for example, 9, 4, just to have a little more space, just in case we have to cross. Right? Let's come this way. And then here, we can come down probably. We can come down probably here. Let's say to 5 feet. And then go into our AC closet. Let's separate them a little bit. You don't really need to separate them because we have them at different elevation, but just so it looks clear on the plan view. Now let's convert that elbow into a T. Let's keep going, and I can certainly align this section to this one, and then take this, upgrade it, and notice that the height of this was 3 feet. So I think I'm going to take this down to 3 feet as well. Okay, that way I can simply connect like that, and it's a clean connection. Perfect. Now this line is actually the line that's going to the rest of my fixture. So let's just extend it like this. Let's make a little space with the hot water so they can go kind of like side by side. So let's keep going, and right now I'm drawing everything at 1/2 inch, and then we'll resize the whole thing. So this is 10 inches, so let's have this a little bit higher so that we don't run into any trouble. So that's 1 foot. That should be enough space to make my turn here. Let's see if that's enough. It is not. So you always want to exaggerate a little bit and then you shrink. Let's see at what height this connection is actually coming out. What did we say this was? 1/8, and this is 1 foot. So that's all right. Let's just drop it like this. I'm gonna say this one more time. Let me delete this. You could have this extend, let's say this way, right? And then you could simply say, well, this guy I want to connect into, and then you select the connector that you want, which is the domestic cold water, and then you click on your pipe, and then it will connect it, right? But it will connect it. However, the Revit wants to connect it, and you don't want that, right? Sometimes it gives you a couple of options to cycle through, and you go next, 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 next until they do what. But you don't need that. You can come here and do what you really want to do, which is do your takeoff this way, and then connect to your line right here, so that you have what you're looking for. Okay. And a similar way, I can come, well, this was my toilet, right? So I want my cold water connection coming out like this. And we know that our, well, actually this one's already at 1 foot, so these two pipes should be able to connect as long as they're aligned, right? So you can do this and then this. Okay, let's separate the hot water a little bit and then bring our cold water closer to the stop valve. Keep in mind that there's a little bit more to it than just connecting here. Like here you'll have a stop valve, and then from the stop valve you'll have probably a 3/8 of an inch line going up to your faucet, but we don't want to do that level of detail here because it will become unreadable for the plan reviewer. So for now we have this guy connected, this guy connected. Notice that since this has the two systems, cold and hot, it became white. Since this one has only cold, it remains with the cold water system color, which is blue. Right now our tub has only hot water, so that's why it's red. So if I come with my cold water and I connect to it, which is what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to kill it here. I'm going to take this guy and take my cold water out right here. And see how it became white? It became white because now it has several systems. So it cannot assume a single system and take that color. Alright, now we have everything connected. We should probably try to place a couple of shock absorbers here. If you want me to do a video on water hammer and hammer arresters and how to place them, let me know and in the comments, and I'll probably do one in the future. There's a long list. So you want to place your water hammer arresters or shock absorbers in between the last two fixtures. So for that, typically what I do is I measure this height, which is 1 foot, and I just give it a little bit more. So I do create similar, and I do, let's say, 1/4. Then I click here, and if I were to come out like this, see how it creates this riser here? So let me actually delete this rising nipple here and then place my hammer arrestor. So that would be under plumbing, shock absorbers, and then I'm going to drop this one here. There you go. You can see that the outline turned blue, so that means that it's accepting it. You want to make sure that you're sizing your hammer arresters correctly. We can see that in another video some other time. For now, I'm going to do the same thing for the hot water. The hot water was a little bit lower. It was at 10, but it doesn't really matter because I'm deleting the riser anyway. So I'm putting this, let's say, at 14 inches if I wanted to. And I could click here, and in theory, if I hit apply, it should create the rising nipple. But then what happens is that many times it takes it down. That I find pretty annoying. So what I end up doing is simply do create similar. I do say 14 inches, and then I click here, and then I take it a little bit to the side, and then it takes it. So you can do tap select and just remove that, and then do create similar from this one, and simply drop it where it's supposed to be, which is right here. See the outline of the fitting turned red, so it's taking my system. And now let's actually size a little bit more. So this is a 1/2 inch line. That's pretty good to me. This one's a 1/2 inch line. That's good to me. Now this is taking a toilet into account. So I'm going to change this line and this fitting and this line all the way. Let me see it on my 3D view. I could do tab select here as well. I'm just showing you everything that is becoming now 3/4 of an inch. So this is 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, did it do the change? Yeah, 3/4 of an inch. And now from this side, the only thing that you have is the sink. So 1/2 of an inch is enough. But then this section here has the 3/4 of an inch that we had before, plus the washer. So 3/4 of an inch would be okay, but I'm going to be super safe here, and I'm going to change this fitting, this fitting, this fitting, and this fitting to 1 inch. Okay, so we have our cold water sized already, and now we come with hot water this way with 1/2 inch. That's perfect. And then after it connects to my washer, I'm going to change this to yeah, 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, this line doesn't have to be 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to select from here, right, all the way down to where it connects to the sink. So I'm going to do a quick tap select here. And you see how I selected only that piece of the pipe. And I'm going to change that to 1/2 inch. Okay. So now this line coming in is 1/2 inch. Then it turns into 3/4 because it encounters the washer. And then this line here came from the tub as 1/2 inch. And then from here on it becomes 3/4 of an inch. And then maybe when everything gets together and it goes into the water heater, it can be a 1-inch line. And again, I'm being extremely conservative with this because I know for sure that 3/4 inches is going to be enough. Actually, I'm going to leave it as 3/4 of an inch because I know it's going to be enough. Now let's optimize that pipe sizing a little bit more by actually introducing the correct fixture units to each one of our fixtures. Now keep in mind that if you have your library and you already know that this is a bathtub, you can change that, you know, and you have your library already with the correct fixture units, and you don't ever have to change this again, right? But the first time you will have to introduce the correct values. So if I look into my table E103 from the plumbing code, from the International Building Code, I'm in Florida, so I use the Florida Building Code, table 103.32, you'll see that the water fixture units for a bathtub that is private is 1 and 1, and then the mix is a 1.4. Since Autodesk doesn't allow for the mix right now, you would have to create an additional parameter to it, but for now I don't care. I'm just going to change this to 1 and 1, and then the waste fixture unit is 1.4. So click OK. So a private water closet that is tank type will have 2.2 under the cold water fixture unit, so it's 2.2. We don't have hot water, so that's 0, and then the waste fixture unit is 3. Then a private lavatory is 0.5, 0.5, and 0.7. So this is 0.5, this is 0.5, this is 0.7 is the mix, but the waste is actually 1. And let's see what else. We have our washer and dryer. So our washer and dryer, it's also 1 and 1, but the waste fixture unit is actually 5. So it's 5 because you're discharging all those fixture units at once. You know, it fills up and then you discharge all that at once. But we're not doing drainage here, so we won't talk anymore about that. And then this guy here, it's also a standard sink, a private standard sink. So that is 1, 1, and 2. So I can come here to edit type and simply 1, 1, and 2. And it seems like well, actually I forgot my cheap fridge right here. So let's take one of these sinks, or this one looks more like a toilet. So let's take this one here and let's place it a little bit farther to leave some space for the dissipation of the heat of the fridge. This one doesn't have any drain, but you know, we can use this anyway. And for this one, I'm going to duplicate this and call it refrigerator. And then to this one, you actually don't have to take into account this fixture units. It definitely doesn't have any waste. It doesn't have any hot water. It has a little bit of cold water, but we can just disregard that. It's so small that it would be insane to take it into account. We're using Hunter's curve anyway, so if you want to know more about water fixture units, check out the video on Hunter's curve, and I'm going to do another video going deep into Hunter's curve. But for now, all we care is that there's some cold water here, right? So I'm going to come out of here, and then there's going to be either an ice box or a refrigerator service box here, or at least a stop valve. So we can come out like this and then go up. We said this was going to be a 9.4, I believe, the hot water, the cold water. Let's see if it connects. Yep. So here it is. So now we can, let's actually do a untile our window, and let me take out my Revit link for a minute so you can see that everything has been properly piped. Now the only thing left to do is to check that our system is flowing our fixture units correctly. So let's check that out. But before that, I realized we have a little thing going on here. We have our hot water and cold water crossing each other. So let me get rid of this piece of pipe and then simply actually I turned it the wrong way. and then we can simply go above our line. Let me see, now that's better. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so now let's do untiling our windows, and let's activate our system inspector to see how things are looking. And this doesn't have to be that high, so let me take it down to 9.2. 9.2. Yeah, much better. Now let's click on our, let's inspect our hot water first. So we can click here, then we go to System Inspector.
Now, if you're serious about your professional training, go ahead and visit us at beamitup.com. At beamitup.com, we offer professional training on mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection systems. And we can also train you, obviously, in Autodesk platforms like Revit and AutoCAD MEP. So go ahead and visit us at beamitup.com or contact us directly at the email you see on the screen and let us know how we can help you get professionally developed.
And then we're going to inspect. Let's see if this makes sense. We have one fixture unit right here. That's perfect. So now we keep going, and now we encounter our washer, which has one fixture unit as well. So it would make sense that here we have two fixture units, and that's exactly what we have. Then on the other side, we have here one fixture unit. That's perfect. The toilet doesn't have hot water. Then this guy here has one fixture unit as well. Actually, 0.5 fixture unit. So here you have 1.5, which makes sense. And then this 1.5. And actually, the system, I'm not a big fan of the system inspector. It's just to show off a little bit. But I'm going to cancel because you can simply click on the pipe. And then by clicking on the pipe, you know how many fixture units you have flowing through it. So I have 1.5 here. That's perfect. And then in this pipe, I had 2. So 2 plus 1.5, I'm expecting here 3.5. That's perfect. And then on my cold water, I have something similar. So here I have one fixture unit. I encounter my toilet, and that brings it up to 3.2 because the toilet's 2.2. Then this one here is 3.7 because I added 0.5 from the lavatory. And then the sink over there is bringing in also one fixture unit. And then the washer is introducing one more, 3.7 already. And then if I add one more from the washing machine, I have then 4.7. And then if I join it together with the one that I had here, I have 5.7. So we're good to go. Almost forgot to provide a shock absorber here. We have to do that. So let's do create similar, and then let's do, let's say 2 feet, whatever. We click here, and then we take it this way, and then we simply remove this piece, and we do the same for this line. Let's do 2 feet. Take it this way. You want to put it as close as possible to the quickly closing device or valve. So I'm going to delete this, and let's add a couple of shock absorbers. I know I have the one that I like right here. So I do create similar, bring it all the way here. Boom. Boom. And now we're good to go. You need this especially if you have if you're going to connect a dishwasher to this sink. The hot water line is going to be closing and opening really abruptly, and you want to avoid that water hammer. And this is a long line also. So anyway, I think we're done for now. So I just wanted to show you that I can pipe a full bathroom with a couple of plumbing fixtures. They're generic and they're fully customizable, and I really like them. So I'm going to make them available in my BIMITUP website very soon, maybe next week. All right. So I couldn't help it, and I uploaded the full package, the BIMITUP Ninja plumbing fixture package, on bimitup.com. I'm going to leave the link in the description. You'll be able to find in that package. You can also buy the individual fixtures if you want, but the whole package is a great deal because you get dual bowl, bottom water, you get back discharge, top water, back discharge, bottom water, bottom discharge, no water, bottom discharge, top water, and bottom discharge, bottom water. Go ahead and get it right now, bimitup.com. Link is in the description.
And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure you like it down there, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you get notified, Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.